In the heart of the sun-drenched village of Umoja, where traditions were woven into the very fabric of life, Chief Adebayo reigned with a firm but fair hand. His wife, the radiant Adana, was the jewel of the village, admired for her beauty and grace. But beneath her serene smile, a storm of discontent was brewing. She felt like a beautiful bird in a golden cage, her spirit yearning for a freedom she couldn't name. Enter Kwame, a young, ambitious warrior with eyes that held the fire of 1,000 sunsets. He had recently returned to Umoja, his travels having filled his head with new ideas and a bold confidence that set him apart. His gaze often found Adana's during village gatherings, and in those fleeting moments, a silent, dangerous understanding passed between them. Adana, starved for attention from her often preoccupied husband, found herself drawn to Kwam's intense focus. The secret glances soon turned into hushed conversations by the riverbank, hidden from the prying eyes of the village. Kwame spoke of a world beyond their borders, of a life where passion ruled over duty. His words were like a forbidden song. To Adana's soul, she saw in him not just a man, but a thrilling escape from her predictable life. The thrill of the secret, the danger of their meetings, became an intoxicating poison. One moonless night, their stolen moments escalated. Concealed by the deep shadows of the ancient baobab tree, their forbidden affair began. They believed their secret was safe, wrapped in the darkness and the silence of the night. But in a village as tightly knit as Umoja, secrets have a way of whispering on the wind. Old Mama F, the village's oldest and wisest woman, saw more than she let on. Her weary eyes, which had witnessed generations come and go, noticed the subtle changes, the lingering looks, the new, feverish light in Adana's eyes, and Kwam's overconfident swagger. The whispers started subtly, like the rustling of leaves before a storm. A misplaced necklace, a scent of unfamiliar perfume on Kwame's tunic. Soon, the hushed gossip turned into a roaring torrent of speculation. The honor of the village and the authority of their chief was on the line. Chief Adebayo, initially deaf to the rumors, could no longer ignore the cloud of suspicion that had settled over his household. The trust he had placed in his wife and in his young warrior was crumbling. The breaking point came during the annual harvest festival, a time of celebration and unity. In a moment of reckless abandon, Kwame gifted Adana a rare orchid, one that grew only on the perilous cliffs far from the village, a place he had boasted of conquering. The entire village saw the exchange. The gasp was collective. It was a public declaration of a private sin. The vibrant celebration ground to a halt. The drumming stopped. A heavy, suffocating silence fell upon the crowd. Betrayal was now laid bare for all to see. Chief Adebayo's face, once a mask of stoic leadership, contorted with a pain deeper than any physical wound. He stood before his people, his heart shattered not just by his wife's infidelity, but by the disloyalty of a warrior he had mentored. The public humiliation was a bitter pill. Following the ancient laws, the Council of Elders was convened. The air in the central hut was thick with tension. Adana and Kwame stood before them, their heads bowed not in shame, but in the grim acceptance of their fate. They had chased a fleeting thrill, and now the consequences were upon them. The elders, guided by Chief Adebayo's surprisingly measured judgment, delivered their verdict: banishment. They were to leave Umoja at sunrise and never return. The punishment was not just for their betrayal, but for threatening the social harmony that held the village together. As the sun cast its first golden rays over the horizon, Adana and Kwame walked away from the only home they had ever known. The life of passion they had dreamed of now seemed like a hollow fantasy. They had each other, but they had lost everything else: their family, their community, their identity. The village of Umoja, though wounded, began the slow process of healing, its trust shaken but its foundation intact. The story of Adana and Kwame became a cautionary tale, passed down through generations. And this brings us to the powerful lesson of our story, one that is just as relevant today as it was then. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. Sometimes it's just a different shade of green, and it often grows on treacherous ground. Chasing temporary thrills and fleeting desires can lead us to betray the very things that give our lives meaning and stability, our commitments, our families, and the trust people place in us. True happiness isn't found in escaping our responsibilities, but in finding joy and contentment within them. It's about watering our own grass, nurturing the relationships we have, and building a foundation of trust and respect. Because when the thrill fades, it's that foundation that remains. The choices we make in secret have a way of revealing themselves in the light, and the consequences can change our lives forever. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. If this story resonated with you, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more powerful stories with life-changing lessons. Until next time, stay wise and cherish what you have. As Adana walked away from Oja, alone and disgraced, the weight of her actions settled upon her. The thrill of the forbidden love had faded, replaced by the harsh reality of its consequences. She had sought a moment of connection and had lost her entire world. The chief, sitting on his throne, was left with a broken heart and a tarnished legacy. The village, rocked by the scandal, was left to heal from the deep wound of betrayal. And so, we come to the lesson of this story, a lesson that rings as true today as it did in the village of Oja. The pursuit of fleeting happiness at the expense of honor, trust, and commitment can lead to devastating consequences. A moment of passion can cause a lifetime of pain, not just for ourselves, but for everyone around us. The story of Adana teaches us about the importance of integrity. It reminds us that while our feelings are valid, our actions have consequences that ripple outwards, touching lives and shattering worlds. True, lasting happiness is not found in secret glances or stolen moments. It is built on a foundation of honesty, respect, and loyalty. Before we act on an impulse that feels good in the moment, we must ask ourselves, what is the true cost? Thank you for joining me on this journey. I hope this story has given you something to reflect on. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more powerful stories from across Africa. Until next time.